What's up, boys? Welcome back to another Warframe video. I took a small break, posted some other stuff with friends, and recently I happened to binge watch all of Demon Slayer, and god damn, that was so good. Season 2, or the train arc, plus Season 2, or Season 3, just amazing. And then I was thinking, what if we do a Demon Slayer challenge, right? And try to make it as accurate as possible with some spicy stuff, some spicy elements in there. So this is the Demon Slayer build. And then I also have an Inosuke build I'll show you guys after this. But this is the idea, right? Our main mods here are going to be Steel Charge for your aura, so you can increase the damage for your melee, or your Nakana, or your sword, or whatever Demon Slayer weapon you're going to use. But you're going to have Reflection, because as we know, Tanjiro has been able to see these threats that basically come up and allow you to execute a demon and chop off their heads. So Reflection, that 10% chance to stun and block, is what's going to create these threats, and what's going to give us a finisher move so that we can execute the enemy. Prime Flow, or just Flow, or if you're new and you don't have Flow, this is going to basically be your stamina. Energy is going to be stamina. So the more of a Flow or a Prime Flow you have, the bigger your stamina, so the more abilities you can cast. And then lastly, the main other mod is going to be Quick Thinking. As we know, they can do something called recovery breathing, or breathing recovery technique. Now, Quick Thinking is going to basically allow you to stop dying, so the moment you're about to die is going to go over into your stamina. So you'll be consuming stamina as you're doing your quote-unquote recovery breathing. After that, we have Streamline, just for efficiency, so that our abilities cost less stamina or less energy. And then we're going to put Fatal Teleport, because it's going to be one of our Demon Slayer abilities where we move extremely fast, right? We get behind an enemy and then we cut off their heads. And after that, you can use Intensify or Umbrella Intensify. You can use duration mods, completely up to you, but we cannot add health, shields, or armor to our build. As we know, Demon Slayers are just supposed to be somewhat human and are extremely frail and fragile. We're not allowed to add health or armor or shields to our Warframes. You can go ahead and increase your speed if you'd like, but we cannot make ourselves tankier. We have to rely solely on just our Demon Slayer abilities and our weapon techniques. As far as your melee goes, I would recommend using an Nakana, since it's going to be the most accurate weapon type that the Demon Slayers use. However, they do switch around, like Tenjin has some kind of weird sword whip looking thing, so we could use the Mios if we make a Tenjin build. So yeah, this is going to be the Demon Slayer melee build most of the time. So you're going to want to go with just complete raw damage. We do not use status effects on any of these weapons. So just raw damage. If this is going to be a slash weapon, then we can amplify our slash. We can go with melee damage. We can go with a Buska for more slash, Spoil Strike for more damage. We can use Killing Blow because we can use heavy attacks to increase our overall damage. And then another slash damage like Jagged Edge. And then I would recommend modifying this for a Prime Fury so that we can increase our attack speed. Now, definitely have Finishing Touch, because this is going to do a lot of the damage. Because if we don't have status, then we can't really do that much damage on, certain types like Heavy Grineer. You need Corrosive, but if we don't have Corrosive, we need to rely on just soul damage on executions, or this thread that we see and we chop off their heads or execute them. Now, if you have space, I would go with Focused Defense, because since we are not that tanky, 20 parry angle is going to increase our blocking L from 55 to 75 on this Nakana or on this Skiajati. And if we have a bigger blocking angle, then we can take less damage since we block more of the bullets that are coming up to us. As far as your stance mod goes, I'm going with Decisive Judgment just so I can have the double-handed strikes, but feel free to try something else, completely just style at this point. Now, I would recommend having a secondary, because if you don't have that, then you're going to be forced to just completely time all of your blocking and reflections at very, very specific times. So by having a secondary equipped and switching to your melee, it's actually going to make it automatic. So if they shoot you, you'll block it immediately. So definitely go ahead and do that. But for your secondary, use something like Haiku or Haiku Prime, or just gadgets like Kastana Primes. Maybe something like an explosive, but don't use bullets since it's not really what they would use. Crossbows might be pushing it, but I would just go with Haiku Prime or some kind of explosive. Now, this is what it should look like in-game, right? So let's put a level 170 Corrupted Heavy Gunner, and just go from there, right? So we're going to rely solely on our instincts of our melee, So he shoots, he gets a little staggered there. That's an opening, and then we can execute. And now this Skijati makes you cloak, right? So this will add a bit of survivability to your build. As far as it kind of works out because let's just pretend like, since you're cloaking here, right? You're cloaking, but let's just pretend you're moving super fast that the enemies really can't see you. So, fuck it, you know, close enough, it works. Okay, now let's put 5 of them and see how it works. Once again, equip your melee. Don't hard equip, just make sure your melee is out. So you can see them, they're shooting at you, you're taking a bit of damage because you're not blocking all of these angles. Now it's a stagger, you cloak. Maybe that's perfect timing to use your ultimate. Mark him up, start teleporting. There we go. Get a few cuts in there. Because you're moving extremely fast. Now you want to start blocking again. Careful, careful. Execute this guy. This guy's dead. Turn around quick. Don't die from him. And then execute. Also remember, when you stagger them, it opens them up for finishers, so you can crit on them. That's why you don't need crit when you have this build on. Oh, there we go. So slash, 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 crit. And he takes a lot of heavy damage, and we can execute. Now, this is the Inosuke build, and when I was going through, I was like, crap, how can I make this as cool looking as possible, or as close related to Inosuke as possible? And I thought, you know what, I think it's gotta be Rhino. It's gotta be, because he charges up, he does his iron skin, which, if you guys have seen the last episode, we know that he can move his organs around, so it makes him a bit tankier. He can take more hits than most people. Especially more lethal hits. This one right here. We go once again with Steel Charge just because we get more bonus damage. We need that reflection, recovery, breathing, and flow and streamline for just so that we can spam abilities, and we have a lot of that stamina or energy. And then Inosuke has that ability where he can sense enemies, so it makes sense to have enemy sense. So that's going to be a really cool one to have in there. Piercing Roar is going to reduce, it's going to proc enemies with that puncture damage. So basically, it'll reduce overall damage coming at you. So that helps you with, you know, tankiness as well. I went with Arcane Energize on this one just so that you can spam more, because with him, you're going to be doing a lot more abilities. And then we also have Iron Shrapnel, so that when you recast your Iron Shrapnel, it kind of creates this explosion and it knocks him up. So you have a bit more crowd control in that ability. And then we went with some more power strength, so Intensify. And then because he does have that sense, right? He does have that enemy sense, and he can sniff out a lot like an animal can. I gave him Golden Instinct just so that he can kind of find treasures or whatever's needed. And Golden Instinct is the Helminth ability you get at level 15 on the Helminth thingy thing, whatever that jelly bean shit is. But yeah, you're probably not going to get that for a while, but if you have it, fuck it, just put it in there because it makes sense for the Inosuke build. Now, for your weapons, he does have that twin double-bladed Nakanas or sword, so the closest thing I could find was the twin croaker. I did not want to spend a catalyst on this or Forma on this stuff, so I went with your just average stuff. I went with just your average mods for Demon Slayers, right? So you have your damage, a bit more damage because we're going to need it, and then Finishing Touch. Definitely you must have Finishing Touch. And then I didn't put the block angle one because the double blades do have a higher one than usual. The other one has 55, this one has 60. So the blocking angle would still be handy, but I just didn't have the space as well. Now the cool thing about the dual croaker or the dual swords is the way you execute them, because you actually do decapitate here. Like, let's go behind him, you jump, oh, I missed that one. But next one, let's wait for one more. Come on. Go behind them, and you jump and decapitate them. But like I said, you want to get them when that block triggers. That way you can crit and do severely way more damage, and then you can execute them. That's how the build works, guys. It's challenging because you're not going to be that tanky. It depends completely on your Warframe you have, the mods you have on your melee, and even what melees you have. But I feel like that's the build. But that's the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to see more, or maybe a Tanjiro build or some other build, just let me know down in the comments down below. And I'll probably come up with something. If not, then I'll be posting more stupid shit with a group of friends. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.